Good evening, guys. I hope everybody's doing okay tonight. I got a quick verse for you. It's from James 3, 5 through 6. In the same way, the tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches, but a tiny spark can set a great force on fire. And the tongue is a flame of fire, and is a whole world of wickedness, corruption in your entire body. It can set your whole life on fire, for it is set on fire by hell itself. So, our tongues can do a lot of great things. We can yell with it. We can make great resolutions with it. We can do something for the university with it. Or we can go and use our own selfish gain with it and do nothing. You see, what I want you guys to think about is, do you want to use your own selfish wants to do nothing, or are you actually going to use your voice to do something? So let's pray. God Almighty, I thank you for this day. I thank you for this Congress. I thank you for every single one of these people. Because every single one of these people did run for a cause. Every single one of these people ran to help the student body at Campbell University. Every single one of these people want to help this great university. God, we ask for your presence to be with us. And God, we ask for this meeting to be tamed and good and productive. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. When I'm event to the Pledge of Allegiance.
The Pledge of Allegiance is going to be led tonight by Representative Whitlock. He's a senior class representative, and he is a political science pre-law.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All against?
Motion to amend the agenda to include the resignation of sophomore representative Wilson.
All those against? All those in favor?
Last week, before our Congress meeting, it was last week, I received this email mid-meeting, so I wasn't able to read it out to Congress. But I received this. It says, "Dear sophomore class and President Newby as well as Congress, I have been doing some thinking, and while I would love to be able to stay in SGA, I think it is the best decision for me to resign. I decided to look at my situation from a different perspective. I'm the missions coordinator with the Baptist Student Union, and our meetings are on Thursdays as well. I do not want to let either organization suffer by not being able to fully invest my efforts into both of them. I want you all to know that I know you will do a great job as a sophomore class and as a Congress as a whole. I feel as though there may be someone out there who can fully invest their time into the position. It really was a tough decision to make, and I had thought long and hard about it. I hope you all will not hold this against me. If you ever need help with anything, an opinion, or a student's voice on something, I would love to help. Best wishes, Sheena."
Motion to accept the resignation of Representative Wilson.
Second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? Motion passes. We're now moving into any appointments.
The sophomore class had interviews as well as a resume and an application process to appoint 2 new members to Congress. We chose Mr. Jones 6 out of 7 who took a vote, and we approved Mr. Jones as one position, and Mr. Riles had a 7 out of 7 vote. So those would be our 2
Motion on the floor.
Motion.
To accept the appointments. Second. All those against, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Congratulations. All right, we'll now move into the swearing in. President Lee.
Also Representative Littlejohn. Could you also stand and be sworn in as well? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been chosen by my fellow students to hold this office,
Have been chosen by my fellow students to hold this office,
do hereby affirm my intention to work
do hereby affirm my intention to work
for the best interest of the students at Campbell University.
for the best of the students and
I promise to conform to the rules,
I promise to fulfill the rules,
regulations, and policies of the university,
regulations, and policies of the university,
to protect and adhere to the SGA Constitution,
and adhere to the Constitution,
and to commit my time, effort, and talents
and the time and
to provide for improvement and adjustment wherever needed. Congratulations.
Now move into a roll call. Secretary Forrest. Representative Lee, about to join the class and go ahead.
Executive boards all. Senior class. Okay. Field. Sorry, guys. Kayla John, listening from executive board. Senior class start. Junior class.
8 of 9 is David Snyder.
Sophomore class.
9 of 9.
Freshman class.
So we got 9 missing, Brittany Wilson and Ashley Cox.
All right. This time, are there any amendments to the minutes?
I motion to amend last meeting's minutes. On page 5, line 44, remove quote IOC committee, parentheses, going to composure of IOC, and parentheses, end quote, and insert quote, the IOC set up that the IOC oversight committee, parentheses, composed of 2 faculty members, the executive vice president, the executive treasurer of SGA, chaired by the director of student activities, and parentheses, oversees the IOC committee, which is chaired by the executive vice president of SGA, and is then proposed presidents and or their representatives, end quote, for that line, and then next line, from Representative Snyder, I'm aware of that, yes. And then also on page 9, line 31, remove the phrase page 27 and insert article 6, 7, paragraph B, clause 2, line D, Roman numeral II. I have them right.
The chair will recognize any motions to approve.
Motion to approve set amendment by Representative Shad.
Is there a second? All those against, please raise your hand. All those in favor?
Come on, y'all. Did you all vote yes? Just Turner. Okay.
Hey, I voted no.
Okay.
All right, we'll now move into student forum. Are there any students wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on. The executive council reports, President Newby.
All right. This week I did sign Resolution 003-13, the IOC transfer authorization bill, and so I'm going to be presenting that to the students. Also, it is midterms, and partially because of that, I have given y'all a survey. Please fill that out. And honestly, as you would like, they're going to be anonymous. Leadership meeting set the way SGA is going as a whole this semester, the general attitude, and then any constructive criticism because I said we cannot operate in a vacuum, which means that if I don't get any information from y'all, it's hard for me to know how to improve. And so I would much rather y'all give me constructive criticism than have a problem with not talking about it. So please fill those out. I'm going to ask that you pass them this way, and I will collect all of congressionals. Do you need them? I will collect all of congressionals, and then I will collect the members of the student body separately. So, and please raise your hand if you need one. Yeah, everybody. All right. So just please fill those out, pass them to the end, at your earliest convenience. Also, since it is midterms, that means we're halfway through the semester, which means we're halfway through the amount of time that we have to write resolutions for this semester. And so I would encourage you to take that into consideration over fall break. We haven't had many resolutions come through. Not much money has been spent on the budget, so there's a lot that can be done. So please keep that in mind over fall break. I hope you have more.
We will now move into the vice president report. See you guys. Everyone, please talk a little bit louder. This office requested that because it's kind of hard for people to hear over there. So talk a little bit louder, and also don't debate whereas clauses. We've been doing that the past few meetings, so just don't do that. It's a waste of our time, especially during midterms. So I'm beginning for Secretary report. Mr. Taylor Johnson is not here. He's in this meeting instead. And moving on. Academics with Chairman Hudson.
And just speak here.
Yeah.
So we met this past week, and we are beginning the process of nominations for rest of the year. I'm going to meet with Dr. Baseball within the next couple of weeks. And we also discussed lectures that we're interested in doing. And that's about it.
Advancement, going to Taiwan.
Okay, hey guys, I actually have a lot to, that I want to present to you guys tonight. First off, after working with Faith Beam, we are going to be able to offer connections credit for 200 level connection classes.
It's only for 200 right now, but hopefully next semester she'll be able to offer it for the freshman class as well. Those meetings will be on October 24th and November 21st. We will be handling, Harley and myself will be handling them coming in and signing in and that sort of thing, and who all came and whatnot. Representatives, you can receive credit as well if you're enrolled in the 200 level class, so if you can. I had a meeting with Dean Hill this afternoon to talk about a couple of ideas that we've had within advancement. One of those is something that we've tried to get put up for a long time, but this year we're actually going to make it happen. We want a sign in front of Baldwin listing exactly what is in the basin of Baldwin. I have met with Randall Johnson and Dean Hale both, who think this is a wonderful idea, and they're going to help me push it through and get it okayed by the university. Next are glass bulletin boards. This is something that I feel is very important for our students, and Dean Hale has completely jumped on board with me with this. She thinks this is a wonderful idea. We want to put up 3 glass bulletin boards, each in front of the different dining halls that we have on campus, for it to be an area where students can go, I finished all my homework, now what can I do tonight? So they'll be able to go, oh, well, there's the glass bulletin board in front of Marshbanks, or the one in front of Oasis, and it's lit up at night, so I can go and check and see what's going on, because I can't get into D-Rich to look at the bulletin boards there because the building's locked. So that's one of the things that we're working on as well. Next, we're working on 2 resolutions. One is for the business cards that I've talked to you guys about that would have our Twitter, Facebook, email, phone number, all that sort of things to pass out with our stuff at Orange Wednesdays. Second are SJ event flags. We passed a resolution for this before, and it did not get handled, but this time it will. I have assigned my committee different websites and different companies to call, so when we come back from fall break, they will all have an estimate from different companies. We'll choose who's the best and write a resolution from there. Next, I want to talk to you guys. My budget is very small, and I'm trying to do a lot. I'm trying to get a lot accomplished. So I'm going to ask for a little bit of help if you guys don't mind. One of the things that we really wanted to do this year was increase student awareness and let them know exactly what's going on in these meetings, which is why we started videotaping. The communication department would very much like to increase their broadcasting on their channel rather than just having our normal news show that we have. It doesn't run very long. So something we'd like to do is put up the SGA meetings for students to watch, as well as different events like the College Republican, College Democrat debate that's coming up, some other club events, run video promos, that sort of thing, maybe do a little bit of advertising, just to make the channel an actual channel for students to be able to watch and find out what's going on campus. So I've been in contact with the communication department, and what we want to do is create a segment type software. So right now, we have to manually go in and switch out everything that happens. And while there's a class in there, we're not allowed to use the system. So that cuts out a lot of our air time, and we're not allowed to put a lot of things on the air because we don't have the manpower to do it. With this software, we'd be able to set up show segments. So we'd be able to say from 8 a.m. till 12, we'll show the morning news show on Wednesday. And then from 12 to 2, we'll show last night's, Tuesday night's Congressional Meeting for students to be able to watch. And then from 2 to 3, we'll show the entertainment show from last week, that sort of thing. We'll be able to segment it out. The software, the actual software itself is about $200, and that's what they would like us to help with. It's really not a whole lot, so if I could get, just a little bit of money from each committee or class or whatever, I really feel like we can make it work. The comm department, I'm helping them currently write a grant for the $1,500 computer and stuff that they need for it. So as soon as I have a little more information, I'll get with you, but I wanted to present this so you guys could have a chance to think about it. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, like she said, our advancement committee budget's pretty small. We only have $500. And this Megasec software is going to cost $298. So that's approximately 60% of our budget. So it'd be really great if the classes or committees would love to chip in. This is going to help SG as a whole, as well as let the students know what exactly we're doing here, because we're trying to be as transparent as possible. So anything they can offer would really help out.
And like I said, it'll also help out clubs as well, which is something that we really wanted to do. And then the last thing I have is I have put up so many flyers this week. Our clubs are really responding to the advertising that we're offering them. I have put up 7 flyers this week alone, just this week. Amy and I were out for an hour on the golf cart yesterday, hanging stuff up and switching stuff around on bulletin boards. So keep an eye out for flyers. There's lots of stuff going up about what's going on. So, and if you have anything going on in clubs that we're not knowing about, let us know. And that's it. Thank you.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Does the chair have a question?
Does anybody in the administration or any of the professors, are they really knowledgeable about the software that you're planning on trying to get? Like, is that
Yes.
something that you talk with them about?
Yeah, they're actually the ones, I have an actual printed sheet if you'd like to see it. This has actually got the mega seg that they'd like us to put up the money for. I also have the computer software stuff that goes along with it. I have that as well. I didn't print it out for the meeting, but if you'd like to see it, I've got it for you. But they've done a lot of research into what's the best way to do it. And this is actually the cheapest and easiest way for a university to go about it. So that's why and it will last a while. It's not something that'll just fade away over time and not work anymore. So,
What professors over that department?
Dr. Farmer.
Got it.
Yep. You're welcome. Anybody else?
Does the chair recommend?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Is this a license for like the entire year, or is this for the entire school, or is it just for one computer?
It'll go in the television studio for them to actually segment out what goes on the show. Is that what you're asking?
As in, like, will the license be attached to only one computer, or will it be attached to the network itself, so everybody in that network could actually get a hold of this program? Or is it only one program?
I think it's only one program for one computer because we don't want a whole bunch of people on the actual channel itself. So, but if there's ideas, the comm department is totally open to ideas for stuff to go on their show. So keep that in mind. Is that it?
All right, we'll move into the election support. Chairwoman Blair.
We met last week and we elected the vice chair. It'll be Ethan from the freshman class. And then we have the elections calendar planned out for the spring. And I'll give you guys the elections date, like the actual election day, and then I'll email out like the nomination day and the campaign week and that kind of stuff. So the executive office elections are March 5th. The class office elections are March 26th, and the representative elections are April 16th. And then we had some ideas going around in the committee that we're going to meet again after fall break to discuss and write amendments and things like that. So again, if anyone has any ideas regarding elections, just let me know, and I'll discuss those in the committee. That's all.
And then move into Senate support. Chairman Sturman.
So I know everyone has midterms to study for, so I'm not going to try to take too much of your time. First order of business, the Finance Committee elected their Vice Chair, Mercedes Torreiro, making sure I pronounce everything correct today. And we passed our resolution during our second official Finance Committee meeting. This was a $30 resolution designed to purchase gift cards from Creek Coffee in order to promote the SGA Facebook page and other sorts, and it came from Academics Committee. We approved it based on its time sensitivity and on its low cost. Furthermore, this actually comes up to something else. We got our first financial resolution on the docket tonight, and I really do approve of how it is written. It gives me an estimate for the cost and everything like that. But what I do need, if you are a representative or a committee who passes a resolution, I need some kind of documentation, preferably an invoice, to indicate that this is how much it costs, like an official statement from the person you're buying it from. That way I can go ahead and sign the document and make sure that the money is transferred as efficiently as possible. To get a check does take quite a while. It's hard for me, especially if I'm the one who has to work on the invoice stuff, so I'd really appreciate if people could help me with that and get their own invoices. And I know that sounds confusing. If you guys have any questions, please ask me at the time. But our budgets are designed to roll over at the end of October. Some of them are, cost budgets in particular. Christmas tree budget, not designed to roll over. And it occurs to me that it's very important for you guys to have a list of when these things roll over. I discussed them at the retreat, and I discussed them when we passed the budget. But this moves into my next order of business. I have shared the SGA budget with all of SGA through the SGA account. If you guys want to see exactly what I know at any given point in time, you will be able to view that. And you'll be able to see when the budgets roll over from that document. It's online through Google Docs, and I'll be sharing that with all of you. Other than that, just when you pass financial resolutions, be aware of time constraints with getting your check and everything like that. Please do your best to work with me. I yield the clears.
Speaker of the House.
I do.
What did you say was coming from academics?
Nothing.
You said academics.
Did I really?
Yeah, you did.
What did I say for academics?
You said it.
Advancement.
Okay.
I am sorry.
remember proving that.
Correction, advancement. Oh, and that's supposed to be it. Okay. One more thing. It occurs to me that students probably also should have a copy of the budget. The difficulty comes from how do I share it with all of Campbell? We don't have a website venue or anything like that, so it's hard to give you guys an up-to-date copy. By means, you can talk to anyone in Congress, and they'll be able to give the student an up-to-date copy of the budget at any point in time. Or at the meetings, after a major financial transaction, I'll print up an updated copy of the budget. Now, I yield my time.
We'll now move into rules.
Good evening, everyone. Rules Committee met last Thursday. We had a very productive meeting. We elected Representative Lawrence as the Vice Chair of Rules. We also went over an amendment that Representative Softman proposed, and it was not approved. The amendment was for a buffer zone for the printed hours of representatives. We also have the hearing, which I emailed everyone about. The Rules Committee interpreted unanimously that Secretary, Vice Presidents, class Secretary Treasurers, and Vice Presidents have not been enumerated the power to offer resolutions. There'll be a full opinion later on sent out either later tonight or tomorrow, so you can get in touch with a couple of my committee members. And then also we went over reprimands for the office hours, as you can see in your packet. That was about it. Entertain queries.
We'll now move into city affairs. Treasurer, give your vote.
Hey everybody, we have the one financial resolution for Orange Wednesday. It's pretty self-explanatory. We can look through it later. Okay. Short speaking.
Senior class.
Real briefly, senior class met last week. We have two resolutions which are floating around somewhere, so hopefully we present to the next meeting. I think they just have to get through another committee. So we've got two coming up from the next meeting. If anybody has any questions about senior class gift, we're still working. We're open ideas. We're not nailed down with anything yet. If you got anything, just let me know.
President Byrd.
No report.
President Avery. President Rashadi.
Motion to amend the agenda to include the appointment of student comment committee. Student comment committee, sorry.
All those opposed? All those in favor, please raise your hand. The motion we're voting on is to approve to amend the agenda to include approval of the student conduct chair. So we're going to read that. All those against, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot to do this before in regards to the swearing in the other people. I met with Dean Hale and suggested to her, the Student Conduct Committee chair is supposed to be a member of the executive appointed by or approved by the Dean of Students. I selected Sarah Boltonhouse. Congress needs to approve that. And so I would very much like for you to approve Sarah Boltonhouse as Student Conduct Committee Chair. She has been approved by the Dean of Students, and that's the second stipulation.
Are there any motions on the floor?
Motion to approve.
Chair Boltonhouse.
I'll second. Joe.
All those opposed? All those in favor, please raise your hand. We will now move into new business. Resolution 002-13, Molly Sun.
All right, guys, so our resolution is pretty self-explanatory. It's just a recommendation to the administration to provide more funding for pet band. No money is coming out of SGA. So, vote yes.
Are there any motions on the floor?
Motion to approve resolution 002-15.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes. Congratulations. Moving on to resolution
Good evening, everyone. Again, this resolution is for giving reprimands. Order, everyone. This resolution is for giving reprimands to the listed individuals in lines 37 through 40. They did not complete the required office hour per the Constitution. And careers.
Are there any motions on the floor?
Motion to approve resolution 004-13.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes. We will now move into resolution 005-13.
So this resolution is for reprimands for the listed individuals. Same as the other one.
Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve resolution 005-13.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor? Resolution passes. We now move to resolution 006-13.
Same resolution.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of where that Representative Wilder did complete his office hour, I was there with him to complete it.
According to the office hour sheets, the representative in question was in the office from September 27th, from 12 o'clock to 12:50. So it's not out. Queries?
Or you can speak. Yes, weird.
I asked a question. You heard it.
That goes to very, I mean, if you start rounding, where are you going to stop rounding? Are you going to round it 3 5? It's 1 hour.
It's been recognized in the sophomore class.
We don't really round up the 10-minute mark at the second meeting.
Point of information. I advise Congress to use the method that employers use when they have manual office hour sheets to, if you are 7 minutes or above, to go ahead and round up, 7 minutes or below, that's the halfway mark, to go ahead and round down to the next 15-minute mark. That makes it easier to calculate. Most of y'all were doing exact numbers. I asked Mr. Shad, and he said he was fine in putting the exact numbers. I was afraid I would have to do it, so I would rather you do the 15-minute marks. But since he's doing it, he's recording it exactly as you were doing.
Mr. Whitlock is down here.
Now I'm resting my head on my
Good raise your hand.
Is it 50 or 55 minutes? Hold up to. I'm almost 65.
As far as I know, the closest to an hour that has been recorded so far for the reprimands has been 50 minutes.
So, as far as the 7-minute or whatever, so 53 would count, but 50 would not. What you saying?
If you enter in, if you record on the timesheet as
Point of information, that was the recommendation, is how you should record your own office hours. Not how we're going to tally them, but how you should record it.
Are there any motions on the floor?
That motion to strike Representative Wilder's name for the resolution.
Second.
Objection?
I was asking if I could. So it's a
Order, everybody. In regards to your question, it's whereas clause are facts. Are there any other motions on the floor?
Motion to approve resolution 0.
Did you have a motion?
Yeah, motion for item A.
Is there a second? All those opposed?
Your motion was seconded before he motioned, correct?
It wasn't, yeah, it was initial motion. The
Oh,
colors were
okay,
correct.
yeah,
Any
done,
other-
sorry.
All those, the motion in question is a motion to move into a round of debate. All those opposed to moving into a round of debate, please raise your hand. And raise, please.
You're up.
Motion passes. Moving into a round of debate. Those speaking to?
on there, listed on there for me being reprimanded. And just to inform you all, Representative Chad was very accommodating in helping me to understand that I made a mistake in my hours and that was my fault. And I talked for a while to President President Doobie about it. And I apologize, Peter. And he expressed to me the importance of allowing some discretion in the time that you're allowed to spend in the office, or the time that you're allowed to spend in the office and count as office hours. If we start to allow 50 minutes, then to my understanding, and this was really hard for me because it was really frustrating that I spent 50 minutes and I didn't spend a couple more extra minutes in the office. But if we start allowing 50 minutes, then it's going to be very difficult for us to keep our standard as a set objective standard. Also, I am planning on voting against this resolution, not for any other reason. Is that out of order? Oh, okay. For no other reason, but that there is an individual, Representative Tadlock, who is on this resolution who I feel has worked very, very hard and has obviously about time.
No, it's out of order. Keep speaking. It's just to information.
So can I come back up here and speak later? Or what you?
Against. You're probably gonna want to.
Are there any other members of the board to speak to
Sorry.
the debate?
My name was also on one of these, I don't know which one, but I was confused because Vice President Outlaw said in our second meeting, I believe it was, that office hours didn't start until the next week, which was really bugging me, and I was sitting there taking minutes, and I was like, oh, well, I was gonna do mine Friday, but now I'm not, because he said we don't have to. But I forgot that they sent out an email to all of Congress beforehand saying that we had to do them the week before, so that didn't really make any sense, but I just wanna say that's why I didn't do mine.
Any other members of Congress wishing to speak to?
That's okay. I'm pretty sure this is a fact, but I have a very bad habit of not signing a piece of paper. That's a fact. But that's my own fault. That's my own fault, which is why I voted to reprimand myself. So.
Any other members of Congress wishing to speak to?
Okay, so I'm also with Emily on the whole not remembering to sign in sometimes. Actually, usually I sign in and then I'll leave and I won't sign out. So I've actually had to go back to the SG office like multiple times. So I'm assuming that's like okay. But I really hate that, you know, it does have to be so close to an hour and yet, you know, it can't count. But like Representative South was saying, it can be a problem if we say, okay, 10 minutes rounds up to an hour, and then, well, I was just 5 minutes away from the 50 minutes. So it becomes a problem when you start saying, well, it's really close, and then it's really close. So.
Any other members of Congress wishing to speak to? All right, seeing none, we'll move into speaking against. Mr. Walker.
Good evening, everyone. I'm on there because I did 50 minutes and I don't know why I just did 50, but the first two reprimands were my fault. I didn't do the office hour, but this one, I think is a little harsh. If I had stayed 5 minutes more, so that would get counted. But I also think that since some people actually sign out 10 minutes early and put the extra full hour then leave, feel like it's a little hard to say that if I, just because I put the exact time there, that it should kind of get changed. So that's my opinion. That y'all.
Is the speaker aware that if a representative did such a thing of just adding on an extra 10 minutes, they could be tried for public policy?
Yeah, I don't do it, but I know that it's happened.
Anyone else wishing to ask a question?
Isn't that what Peter recommended, though, is if you, within 7 minutes, just to round up like an employer would do? So put down an hour, even if you stay till like 53 minutes?
That's kind of the idea I got from him. I didn't do that because, I don't know, I thought that, at the time I was unaware about the 55 minutes and I thought that 50 would be fine, but apparently we need to round up or it's recommended. So that's why I think it's a little harsh to say 5 minutes counts as a reprimand, which would make it.
Anyone else wishing to ask a query? Yield your time. Anyone else wishing to speak against Mr. Merritt?
Good evening, everybody. My problem with this is by university policy, a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday class is 50 minutes, which is an hour. So how come, since we're part of Campbell University, 50 minutes for our office hour doesn't count? And it was said to us that we round up, which was kind of confusing because it wasn't clarified very much as to when we should round up and how we should round up.
Would you, does the speaker agree that the problem for this particular resolution seems to be not the lack of attendance to the office hour, but the rounding minutes?
Yes. I use my time.
Anyone else wishing to speak against Mr. Deeger?
Look, they messed up, they didn't round up, so they did sort of their office hour. Let's give them a little slap on the wrist, because if we pass this through, it's his third reprimand. That's really bad. So this little slap on the wrist, no for next time. Write down an hour next time, so stay in there. But I'm gonna vote no, just give him a break. It's not that big of a deal.
Anyone else wishing to speak against? Mr. Jones?
I'm going to vote no simply because there was no policy in place before for rounding up. It was just advice to do so. So there was no formal understanding of where you round up, where you round down. Employers do it, but it's stated at the beginning, so you know if you're there, you're within your 7 minutes, you get paid for the whole hour. If you're not, you get paid for 3/4 of an hour. So until there's an understanding of where you round up or down, I don't think this should be approved.
I would like to commend Mr. Wilder on his morality, all right? Guys, he purposely was in there. He was trying to be there for the student. I think it's kind of ludicrous if you're going to go and say, oh, you weren't there for 3 minutes, okay? You know, I'm glad that he actually put down the right time and he didn't just go on up. And so I think he deserves a clap for that. That's pretty good. But I yield to inquiries, I guess. I can't vote, by the way, because I'm but if I could, I'll vote no.
Are there any queries? Seeing none, we're good for time. Anyone else wishing to speak against?
I'm just gonna make this quick. I'm also gonna vote no on this, but simply because we are debating about a reprimand here in SGA today, and I feel like we could better spend our time actually doing resolutions. And I'd like to also commend him for actually doing his office hour. He admitted to not doing the first two, and he did the third one, and apparently just didn't round up, which I know, I'm not gonna say that all of you do, but you know some of you do just round up to the hour. That's all I'm gonna say.
Are there any motions on the floor? Just kidding. Anyone wishing to speak for Mr. Sterling?
So, first off, I want to say, I was reprimanded last year, just throw that out there. I've been here, same reason, office hours. But we have this bad habit in SJ of making things more about us. I don't want to let you guys forget the purpose of office hours. They're to ensure that the office is adequately staffed in case a student has any concerns that they would like to express to us. I do not think that we should be debating over whether or not we performed our function as members of SGA, whether or not we've really done our job, because our job is to help the students. If you did 50 minutes, then you only did 5/6 of your time helping the students that you're supposed to do. And the problem with rounding, as I think the Rules Committee Chairman was saying, Representative Chad, the problem with rounding is it doesn't end. Say I did 40 minutes, that's kind of close to 45. If I almost did 45, that's kind of close to 50. It's not about whether or not you put down the truthful answer. Well, it is. That's very, very important, I think. It's about actually doing the hour. And if we have problems with how we measure an hour or how much time we should be spending in the office, that's not something to be settled here after the fact. It's something that should have been brought up to Vice President Outlaw, who sets the standard for office hours. So, I'm going to vote yes.
Do you have any
Yield
queries?
my time.
Do you have any queries?
I yield the queries.
Mr. Ross, do you recommend?
All right, so I have a question for you. So you're talking about your hours and rounding up, and they've already said that 53 pounds an hour, and I'm new here, and I don't understand a lot of things, and I want to fit that commit.
Could you speak louder?
But, over here, I'm sorry.
And slower, please.
All right, so we got Ms. Guerrero, my secret's here, Guerrero. So, Ms. Guerrero went up and spoke about how the classes, if you attend an hour worth of class, that's only 50 minutes. So who are we to say that we can set rules that, go past what the university itself said? If they define an hour as 50 minutes, shouldn't we follow the same example set by the university? We're not
Point
about
of
that.
information.
Come in.
Point of information. Peter did not say that 53 minutes counts as an hour. He said that that was a recommendation at the beginning of the semester, which that is his opinion, that he's not holding his line. Brian, 53 minutes was a recommendation. It wasn't a set precedent that counts as an hour.
So based on Mr. Hudson, what he just said, I'm going to answer this question in kind of two parts. First off, the administration or the university sets 50 minutes for classes so you can get from one to another, no time to exchange. At least I'm fairly certain that's the reason. If your class ended at 3 o'clock and you had a class at 3 o'clock, it'd be kind of a pain. So that's why that is. Our definition of hour is not how long we're going to be in class, but it's how long we're going to help the students. What Mr. Newby or President Newby was saying about the rounding up thing is that it's common in the employee workplace, and I'm not saying it's even right for SGA. It's not in effect, there is no rounding policy, and there's nothing that dictates that you should be rounding. But it is commonplace in the workplace if you are 3 minutes from a full hour to round your hour or round your minutes up to an hour so that the employer can adequately measure how much time and effort you put in. Now that is not the same for 50 minutes, that does not round up. Certain time period would is round down probably. But are there any more queries?
Awesome. Mr. Chairman.
Would speaker agree that we better benefit students by actually going outside the office and talking with them, and that those hours aren't necessarily always counted?
Well, I know Nick is very active in the community, so wouldn't he being active in the actual community, rather seeing an office be more beneficial to the student body?
Point of information, if a representative of Congress does do any sort of thing such as that, they can ask me to approve it as an officer.
So-
I did not get any requests as per that.
And I'm very happy that you asked that question, because that's exactly what Vice President Alva wanted to bring to the table this year. But we should not neglect our students, our duty to the students in serving them in terms of office hours. Yes, it's amazing that we get out there, and yes, that would count as an office hour if you brought it to Vice President Alva's attention. It's amazing. But the matter at hand is that he did not. So, and he did not perform the full hour as dictated by the Vice President of SGA, which I don't believe that anyone really had any qualms about until tonight.
Ms. Colthouse?
Would Cedar find it a good idea to have an official email sent out by, let's say, Representative Shad, the Rules Committee Chair, saying officially you must do the full hour for it to count for?
Point of information, that
Time.
Point of information, that is not up to anyone except for me. And I haven't gotten any requests about, and I mentioned earlier this year, because I got a reprimand for office hours last year. And that's when I said maybe we should go outside instead of being in the basement. And I've told everyone that you are fully able to go outside at the SGA table and you're fully able to go outside at the SGA table, and the email list I also made, and get email addresses so we can better inform students of our events instead of going to Jennifer Brown. And you can just sit out there and talk to people, but no one's done that. And I would like to also agree with what Mr. Elwell said with Representative Wilder's honesty, that anyone who has put anything other than the exact amount of time is lying. Because the recommendation was made, you were told that it's recommended that you round up, but you should just put your time. That's all I can say. So are there any motions on the
Motion
floor?
to approve resolution 006/13.
What, you don't even want seconds?
Second.
Parliamentary.
She can still make a comment.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that the rule is clear. I'm not really understanding the Constitution. If you receive 2 reprimands and then on the 3rd one, does that mean that you're automatically impeached, or does that
No.
mean that
The
Congress
third-
must vote for impeachment?
If you get more than 2 reprimands, it's grounds for impeachment.
Okay.
If somebody, you have to file the formal letter of complaint to Rules Committee and go through the impeachment process that way, you don't immediately get kicked out of office.
So does that mean that we will have the opportunity to approve or disapprove an impeachment that, as a Congress, like as a congressional body, will we have that opportunity before?
It's not an automatic termination, it's
Okay.
a formal impeachment process.
Okay.
Are there any other motions on the floor?
Motion to approve resolution 006/13.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. We're going to get to a roll call vote.
Ms. Avery?
To approve the reprimand, resolution 00.
No.
Ms. Barnes? Ms. Boldenhouse?
Yes.
Ms. Britt?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Burke?
No.
Ms. Katz?
Yes.
Mr. Jeter?
No.
Ms. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Shoddy?
No.
Ms. Gandhi? Mr. Brandon Hudson?
Yes.
Mr. Nick Hudson?
No.
Ms. Isaacson? Yes. Mr. Kelly?
No.
Ms. Laird?
Yes.
Ms. McGowan?
No.
Mr. Owens?
No.
Mr. Powell?
No.
Ms. Santos? No.
Oh, we have a parliamentary inquiry.
Officially recommended for me to abstain or vote no.
You don't have to abstain. Mr. Shad?
Yes.
Mr. Sheridan?
Yes.
Sloan? No. Mr. Stewart? Mr. Strobo?
Yes.
Ms. Tadlock?
Yes.
Ms. Hart?
No.
Ms. Ferrero?
No.
Mr. Turner?
No.
Mr. Whitlock?
Yes.
Mr. Wilder?
No.
Ms. Zopp?
No.
Ms. Littlejohn?
No.
Mr. Jones?
No.
Mr. Wiles?
No.
The motion fails, or the resolution fails. Are there any other motions on the floor? The chair at this time will entertain any motions to suspend the House rules.
Motion to suspend the House rules.
All those opposed, please raise your hand.
Yes, motion to suspend the House rules and enter committee of the whole. Second.
All right. All those opposed, please raise your hand and keep it raised. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes. Are there any other motions on the floor? The chair will entertain a motion to move into committee of the whole. No, the last motion was to suspend the rules.
Motion to move into committee of the whole.
We have suspended the rules. All right. The chair this time will entertain a motion to suspend the House rules. All those in favor? Suspend the House rules. All those opposed? Are there any other motions on the floor?
Second.
All those opposed? All those in favor? Okay, we will now move into committee of the whole, resolution 009-13. Ms. Tadlock?
Sorry we're having to do this in committee of the whole, but we really need to go ahead and get these t-shirts taken care of. If you haven't noticed, we've been doing a t-shirt contest for the past week. It's still going on right now. It's for the design for the new Orange Wednesday t-shirts. We have done a lot of research into what company to use for the t-shirts, as well as what company to use for cups and koozies for students. So in the resolution, I'm not going to read it for you because I know you can all read. So in the resolution, we specifically put out how much everything is going to cost based on our research. We can't give you a for sure exact on the t-shirt. This is just what they've given us so far. We can't give you an exact on the t-shirt because we don't have the design done. But this is what they told us, that with the type of design that we're doing and the number of colors we're using, which is only 2, this would be about how much the t-shirt would cost. We wanted to go ahead and get this passed so that as soon as the design came in, the winning design came in, we'd be able to send it off to the t-shirt designer. They would come in and we'd be able to start Orange Wednesday because we really want to get this started for the students. So I hope you will support our resolution because we put a lot of work into it. Thank you.
Are there any corrections to the resolution? Grammatical errors, unconstitutionality? Are there any motions on the floor?
Motion to approve resolution 009-13, committee of the whole.
This is the motion to add it to. All those in favor? All those opposed? It's added to the agenda. Motion carries. Are there any other motions on the floor?
Motion to approve resolution 009-13.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Resolution passes. We will now move into student forum. Are there any students wishing to speak? Ms. Tadlock.
Okay, so this is just my personal opinion, but you spent like 20 minutes arguing about a reprimand versus the
2 minutes it took to approve orange mistakes. And no offense, but I thought you guys were elected to help the students, not argue about reprimands in between you guys. So, that's just my personal opinion. Maybe we should think about this more.
Any other students wishing to speak this time?
I agree with Ms. Apple. I was looking at the wording of the resolution number 006-13. It says, okay, all whereas, all the facts, right? Okay, so in the first clause, it says, in the Constitution, all representatives must serve a minimum of 1 office hour per week. And 1 hour is 6 minutes, right? Okay, so it also says down in the 5th whereas clause that office hours are on university business days from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, so if you have a 5-day week with 9 to 5 each day, that's a total of 40 hours. 40 hours is 2,400 minutes. You only have to do 60 minutes out of those 2,400 minutes. I understand that everybody has busy schedules, but I mean, you guys wanted to run for SGA, you got elected, and that's wonderful. But this is part of your responsibility as a person on SGA. You know, and it's not like just the representatives have to do it, everybody has to do it, is that correct? Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, I just want to.
At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So I've got this watch, and it's a really great watch. I got it for Christmas this year. And when I got it, I think it was effective because there's like 12 hours, right? And then there are these minutes on it, and the minutes go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then 30. And 30's at the bottom. So I think that might be half of an hour, but the way that things sounded tonight, it sounded like 25 minutes should have been at the bottom. So, but let me keep going. So then there's 35, 40, but 40's at the 2/3 mark, and that's not right either. So 45, 50, and then 55. 55 shouldn't even be on there. So there's 60 on here, and 60's at the top, so that's like an hour, right? But it sounds like 50 minutes is an hour to you guys. I really don't understand how you guys got into college without being able to tell time. It's really not asking much if you do have to go in between 2 classes, to come back for an extra 10 minutes later on in the day, maybe right after your class. It's just appalling to me how you can try and slough off your duties as representatives of the students. And moreover, not just that, it's not the sloughing off. You can do that and take your reprimand and be on your way, and that's fine, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. But even worse than that is actually arguing about it and taking up even more of your time that you should be working for the students, to argue that you were working for the students when you weren't working for the students. I really don't understand. Also, some of you folks need to read the materials that are presented to you, because there's a constitution that has impeachment proceedings, so it's pretty simple, it's all laid out in there. And then there are house rules that tell you what you should be doing in your office hours. So it's all pretty simple, but I'm gonna have to get a new watch, so thanks for that.
Are there any other students wishing to speak at this time? congressional forum. Any members of Congress wish to speak? Mr. Trevette?
Again, I have midterms to before, so quick and to the point. Tonight was, we've had Orange Wednesdays, awesome Orange Wednesdays. I'm happy to have that, going forward. But tonight was largely in part about reprimands, and I really want to think about what exactly we did tonight. So moving forward, I don't think there's anything on the board to change office hours from being 1 hour a week to 50 minutes or to rounding. I guess that's up to Vice President Outlaw, but currently it will still be an hour a week as of now. But rounding is a really poor thing to do. That probably shouldn't have been inserted into the discussion tonight because it opens up the question to, did I do my job or did I do close enough? I've done 30 minutes this week, and you had to do 35 or 36 minutes this week since it's only half a week. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. We were not trying to impeach anyone tonight. Representative Wilder is awesome. Even if he had like 6 reprimands, if they were all for office hours, I still might say no to impeachment because, like it was brought up, he does get out and talk to students. And I think that's the core thing here. But we need each member to do their job when it comes to office hours for the students, not for us, not for what's convenient for us, not because we did close enough, but for the students. So tonight, what we said is you didn't do your job, but close enough. And I can't really understand that mentality, and I'm reading on it. I'm really gone brain-wise. I got to study. So I'd ask that personally that people do not continue to find excuses to avoid voluntary responsibility. So.
Mr. Chairman, members of Congress, I just wanted to address you really quick. I don't know if any of you have been to Marsh Banks recently, but there is a new bike rack in front of Marsh Banks Dining Hall. It's not a huge accomplishment, but I take pride in it, and I thank you all for your part in making this a reality. Yes, sir.
Is there going to be a ribbon
I pushed for one. I don't think so. I don't
So, like I said, I did accept 2 reprimands tonight. I apologize for not doing office hour there. I'm glad y'all, I thank y'all for having a little mercy. I don't mean by any means set precedent that we can now shrug off our duties. I'm not planning on doing 49 minutes of so, but thank you. I'm going to be doing my office hour by 60 minutes from now. I actually did an office hour for 60 minutes this week already, so I went over 15. So. I'm going to take a bit of my time.
Okay, just stay here. As usual, the problem seems to be a lack of clarity in Congress. As always, most of the problems when we vote is the lack of clarity. In office hours is 60 minutes. I went back for 13 minutes on Friday because I do an office hours for 60 minutes. But clearly the rest of Congress is not aware of this. So let's try to be a little more clear about what we're gonna do before we come in. The reprimands were actually discussed during the hearing. You had the opportunity to come speak at the hearing. Mr. Shad sent out an email. So please be aware of what you were sent, which normally is clarification in the email that you could have went and had your name removed from the MEP reprimand if you saw fit and voted upon at the hearing. That was Wednesday, Thursday, in the library, only 225. So next time, just be aware that rules are rules, and let's be clear about what the rules are before we come to congressional. I yield my time from my seat.
I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk by now, but I just wanted to say, take your medicine. Come on, guys. It's just a reprimand. Nobody's gonna be upset with you about it. It's a slap on the wrist. Do it from now on. 60 minutes, like I said, okay, 60 minutes. Everybody remember that from now on, okay, 60 minutes. That is the clarification now, 60 minutes. I screwed up, I did not write my name on a sheet. I now have friends in there who I told, Sarah might wanna take this into account. If you see me come down there, normally I'm so like running everywhere trying to get things done that I don't think about it. So I've told a couple of my friends to say, Emily, write your name down, because I need that. So just kind of keep those things in mind. If you need help, ask for it. If you have trouble making an hour that week, which I don't see why you would because it's only an hour, but if you do, talk to your vice president. That's what he's there for. He's there to help you out. Go out. If you don't want to sit in the office because you're bored, but you should be, because there's lots of resolutions to be written. If you're bored, go out. Talk to your vice president. Say, hey, I want to go talk to students for an hour. I don't want to sit in the office. Will you please let this count as my hour? They want you to do that, so please take that into account, okay? And I know it sucks to be reprimanded. I hate it too because I feel like all of the good work that I've done so far is going to be botched by my name being on this, but hopefully not. So yes, it sucks, but suck it up and take it. It is what it is. Just do your office hour. Thank you.
I just want to say that if you have a concern when something is going through the rules committee, whether it's your resolution, whether it's your amendment, whatever, if it's a reprimand, please come to the rules committee meeting and present your case. It's hard for us once we get to Congress to change things on the floor, especially like in this resolution, it's a whereas clause. We cannot change it once it's a whereas clause. There are members in that reprimand resolutions that failed tonight that I can assure you deserved a reprimand for not doing their office hours. Congress is contradicting themselves by passing 2 reprimands earlier and not passing the third. If you have a special circumstance or want to explain something further, come to the Rules Committee meeting and it will be dealt with. At the last Rules Committee meeting, 2 people came and had something to talk about, and we amended the resolution before it even got here. If more members started doing it, we wouldn't have these problems and waste people's time when we get here.
I am well aware that office hours are 60 minutes long, and I apologize again. I'm really sorry. That was a lack of responsibility on my part. Actually, the week before, I had done 15 minutes as well, and I did go back a few minutes, but I forgot that week. Anyways, I just wanted to talk to you all a little bit about the Constitution, that wonderful Constitution that we were just told that we should read. I have read it, and there are some parts of it that are very confusing and can be interpreted in different ways. So I am working on some amendments. One amendment failed Rules Committee, unfortunately, for right reasons I've discussed with Representative Chad as well as President Newby about some of those reasons, and I understand it better now. So if you all are interested at all in trying to increase the amount of class hours or change the class requirements that you're allowed to have to run for specified classes in the Constitution, please let me know. I'm trying to come up with the best solution possible so that we do not have ambiguous terms added to the Constitution. We know that we don't need any more ambiguity in the Constitution. So I don't want to do that. But another amendment that I would like to start working on, again, something that I mentioned in the last congressional meeting, is IFC. I would like to try to start revising that. It doesn't necessarily have to be an amendment to the Constitution, but I've have spoken to Philip, and he is more than willing to work with us. But in order to do that, I need feedback from club presidents. And I know that I emailed a few of you in regards to getting feedback from how IFC is working for your specific clubs. So if I did not email you, I'm telling you now, please email me. If you are a president of a club, or if you know a president, give them my email address. I'm trying to email as many presidents as I can. I emailed a lot of people that were present at the last IFC meeting, just to try to get some of their feedback on how everything's going. But please let me know so that I can start to work on that, because our Constitution, I believe, needs some work and needs some revision. So let me know, and thank you very much.
If anybody hates office hours, it's this girl. And I think I speak on behalf of the executive board. I've probably said it in every single executive board meeting we've had. I was also the one that suggested to Hunter that we do the outside type, set up the table booth kind of thing. And I complain about it all the time because students don't go down there. But I'm so glad that Emily and the rest of advancement has decided to put a sign out there, because I think that will help some. I actually asked it last night on club volleyball practice. I said, hey guys, how many of you know that SGA has an office? Nobody raised their hand. And on our team, we have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors. No one raised their hand. And I think that's also an issue, but I think a sign will help with that, and advancement doing such a good job. Additionally, I also complained to Philip about it, because that's just how much I think office hours are good for. And he suggested that we make a, like the College Libertarians did in front of D-Ridge. I don't know if you guys saw that, like the big white sticky note style type thing, where students can write up resolution ideas or problems they have on campus, so on and so forth. And I think that's a fantastic idea. I'd much rather spend my time standing out there talking to students than sitting in the office and doing nothing. One student came by today, actually, while I was in the office, and guess what? They weren't looking for us. They were looking for Philip. So I think by getting out in front of D-Rich, that would help us, because obviously students are there, they have to go to class, they have to go by there. So if you are interested in doing that with me, I'm looking to plan a date to do that. Probably obviously after midterms, before exams really start. So if you're interested in doing that, please come see me afterwards, and hopefully I'll figure out a date or something to do that.
Got a few quick points here. My writing's kind of sloppy, so bear with me. One, first point here, Nick Wilder is awesome. We talk about SGA a lot, actually, both in the SGA office and everywhere, both down there and in class. Me and him and Struggle have class together. So he does contribute a lot to SGA, and I'm glad that I hope none of you try to impeach him anytime. I'm sure that he could have 6 and still want to. Second point, we need to cut down the chit chat while we're in Congress. You're here, be professional, dress like professionals, and act like one. It's pretty important. We've got students here who are looking at us, acting like children, and it doesn't reflect good on us. Also, office hours. If you have any questions with office hours, it's explicitly stated in the Constitution. I'm in charge of that. Get in touch with me. Building off of what Ms. Ellis said, you guys are not children. You're in college now. Even if you're a freshman, you're not living at home anymore, right? So you guys don't need to keep complaining, I didn't know, I'm sorry, I need someone to babysit me and hold my hand and let me figure out everything. You have a Constitution, read it. It's really long, it's really boring, but you ran for office, so that's kind of your duty. Also, you have the House rules, read those. And you can email us or ask us questions. We have each other's phone numbers. You can text me, not past the 1 in the morning. Another point, we do need to start working on a big problem we have with debating whereas clauses, because they're facts, so you can't debate them, you can't change them. And if you do try to change them, the resolution is therefore unconstitutional because it has been altered. So you have to do a completely different version for that. And also, you don't need to vote on something how you feel. We have a Constitution and House rules and a Rules Committee chair for a reason. It's to eliminate our subjectivity from interfering with the decisions we make. 50 minutes is not an hour. It was never my intention to round up. I did state, as Ms. Forrest pointed out, that office hours would begin the last meeting that week, and that was for freshmen and anyone newly appointed. So I may not have clarified that as well as I should have, so my apologies for that. But yeah, you guys, we really need to start working on voting what's constitutional, because if you throw out one part of the Constitution, you can throw out every part of it. It's pretty important to follow that. Another point, yeah, that's it, never mind. Any queries? Any other members of Congress wishing to speak? None. Are there any motions? Closing remarks. President. Oh, yes. Is there any motion to recall roll so that Mr. Johnson can be counted present after his 9 o'clock class?
Motion to recall.
All those opposed? All those in favor? Recall vote. Recall vote.
Executive board's all here, senior class, junior class, sophomore class, freshman class.
And the reason we did that is because if you didn't show up after your 9 o'clock class, you were still counted absent. Because your duty to be in official capacity at the university is now null and void.
All right. Congratulations, guys. There were 2 really great resolutions tonight. I'm very proud of y'all's work on those. I sent out an email late last week about faculty committee appointments. There's still a couple that have not been filled, or that I have not gotten a response for. One of them being the library, the calendar committee, which is a little bit dry, but it's fun. I might have to work hard to sell that one. So if you are, I'm going to send out another email with the openings. Need to keep in mind putting on those faculty committees. Thank you for approving Ms. Chairwoman Walton House. So be thinking, I'll alert y'all with another email. If you're interested in serving in a bigger leadership capacity as an ad hoc committee chair or presidential task force chair, please let me know. We've gotten a lot of feedback about recycling, a lot of feedback about internet, and so I'm looking to probably look into establishing a task force or an ad hoc committee to address that issue specifically, so that we have a group of people to do that. So if you are wanting to be in a more leadership role in SGA, please let me know. In regards to the roundup, round down, I apologize for confusion with that. When I sent the email out, it was September 6th, and I apologize for the confusion. It said roundup, we're down on the quarter-hour mark. That was when I was under the impression that I determined office hours. Obviously, I don't. So it is what the vice president determines, and I'm not one to make excuses, so I apologize profusely for any confusion related to that. Also, please leave your name cards. I'm not going to try and get y'all to keep track of those. I have a box that I'm going to put in the storage room and put them out every time. So, if there's, so thank y'all. Have a great fall
At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to recess for 1 minute to serve the purpose of allowing Gabriel Snyder to enter the building that is currently locked.
Motion to adjourn for 1 minute.
No,
Recess.
Second. All those in favor? Everybody? All those opposed?
Everybody, just real quick, Kelsey, with yearbook pictures, who's going to take your book?
I was told that somebody would be here to take.
I was told somebody would be here.
Joanne is here.
Oh, hey.
So
Okay, who do you need to do you want each class then? Okay. Yes. So junior class, please.
Hold on, are we recessed?
We're recessed, but it's an organized
All right.
recess.
Go.
So junior class, please go. For
The baby's still bad. You know what?
Recess if ever, guys. Let's take your seats again. Are there any motions on the floor?
Motion to adjourn.
What do you second?
That's, just so you know, that's going to maintain that Mr. Snyder is absent and then everyone else is in the party.
Motion for 5 minutes. No.
Motion to adjourn.
Guys, get it together, all right? Just wait a minute, calm down.
There was a motion to adjourn. And it was seconded.
Second.
Yes, we can.
All right, so everyone else is down party.
No, there.
All those in favor?
Unless there's a quorum call, it doesn't matter if they're not in the room.
All right. Second. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion
I didn't know what was going
Just so you know, the entire meeting class is now tardy. Because one of your parties.
They're not tardy. They're not tardy. They're not tardy. It was a recess. They weren't in the room. It's like if you walk out of the room to go to the bathroom, you're not counted tardy. Just because they weren't in their seats doesn't mean they weren't tardy. They were tardy. If there was a quorum.
Stop yelling. We're gonna figure this out later instead of yelling across the room. Dismissed. Class presidents, please get your class and go to the front little lobby area to get your picture taken. And then
Anybody have food? No, it's
Hey, Holly, you take our picture. Oh my How that at worship Monday, he was talking about how he was
Is it full potty or is it just half? Dude, am I One second.
Let's switch it off.
You bring that up as a problem with them? Because he told me he's not going to touch anything.
I'm very self-conscious. I feel bad. I just gave him
Anything with sugar. I
that's right. I didn't hear it. I shake box. Where I'm I'll send out an email with their probably today or tomorrow. And all that specifics. What is your email address?
Which is why she like during the meeting.
Senior class pictures.
Doesn't matter.
You can go, they're taking my picture right now, I'll be careful.
Give her a Saturday.
Try to give her earlier, she was. On your stomach. I do too. I passed out twice.
I don't think anyone had
Oh, actually, it's how hard did your head taste?
Athletic training. Is that what it's?
athletic training picture.